respected Hijatul Islam Maidana Ghulam Muhammad Mehdi Khan Sahib, the Chief Shia Qazi of Government of Tamil Nadu, Hijatul Islam Maulana Akhtar Abbas Jaun Sahib, Tega School founder and spiritual leader from Lucknow, Mufti Dr. Salaluddin Muhammad Ayub Sahib, Chief Ghazi of Government of Tamil Nadu. My dear friend, journalist and editor Mr. Mani, Allama Maulana Ayub HUSAIN Warsi Sahib, my colleague and member of the State Minorities Commission, respected Sri Praveen Kumar Dashia, Reverend Father Maria Arul Raja, Director of the Institute of Dialogue with Cultures and Religion, and my dear respected brother Tamil Arasu, the illustrious son of our great leader Dr. Kalanya, and friends, brothers and sisters, I congratulate the HUSAINY Trust for having organized such a wonderful event where they have brought different religions together on this occasion of remembering Imam Hussain Ali. The whole humankind can be divided into two parts. A section of people who got faith in God, and there is another section who have no faith at all. But people who have got faith in God, they belong to different religions, different cults, different beliefs and different faiths. And even among one religion, there are divisions now. And no religion is exempted from these divisions. And it is God's will that the believers should be in different religions. Even the prophet says, the prophet asks a question and God Almighty answers, if it is the desire of God that the entire humanity should belong to one religion, then it would have been much easier for God to create one religion. But God never decided that way. He desired human beings, the whole humankind, in different religion, in different faiths, in different beliefs. And the choice is given to each one of us. And it is our basic belief. And even in the Bible, even in the Quran, even in the Gita, and all the holy scriptures you take, whichever religion a man follows, he is mandated to follow that religion, and that is the will of God for that man being a creation, that I have to be a Christian, and you have to be a Muslim, and he has to be a Jain, and Mani, I don't think whether he has got any belief in God or not. So even among the people on the dais, we have different ideas of God. We have different views about our faiths. But you know, when you go deep into the religious text, when you cease to be religious and become spiritual, that is what we call spiritual secularism. Spiritual secularism means you don't lock yourself in one particular religion, but you search for God, you search for truth. That is what Mahatma Gandhi says, my whole life has been a search, a quest to find out truth. And truth is God. Truth cannot be otherwise. And Mahatma Gandhi says, in my search to find the truth, I may not succeed, I may succeed. But one thing I am willing to do for that, I am willing to give my life in the search of truth. That is what he says. Every religion, people think that has got its finest aspects, which everyone can appreciate. To appreciate the supreme sacrifice of Hussain Ali, I need not be a Muslim. Even being a Christian, I can understand the supreme sacrifice of Hussain. What is the message? What is the message to the world? And how that message is relevant today, in this today's context. Every supreme sacrifice made in one part of history, they have changed not only the humankind at that point of time, but they are the eternal source of giving us directions, giving us new perceptions, giving us new directions, how the human society should move in every contingency the world is faces. And you may be knowing better about the life history of Imam Hussain and what was his role, who is he? He is the grandson of Prophet Muhammad. Not only that, he was the grandson through his daughter, the revered Fatima and Ali. And he was the most lovable among his grandchildren to the Prophet. And during the earlier days in his life, you were able to find a lot of incidents where Prophet Muhammad showered all his love and affection towards this little boy when he was placed as a little child in his arms. And according to the hadith, even it was informed to the Prophet that this Hussain will one day die, he will be sacrificed, he will have to shed his life in safeguarding the interest of Islam. And Prophet Muhammad knew it earlier, even when he was a child in his hand. And the tradition goes, Jibril, what we call Gabriel, what the Christians call the angel Gabriel, you call it Jibril. The Jibril came and informed Prophet Muhammad that this child in your arms, the child being loved by you, will one day we have to be sacrificed, we have to be killed. And there are enough evidence in the earlier history of Islam by the closest relatives to Prophet Muhammad, even senior women folk of the family, they had dreams about this innocent boy, this lovable boy. At one point of time, he will be sacrificed for the sake of religion. And why the sacrifice of Hussain is most important in the history of Islam. And for that, you may have to go into the religious texts. But as people who are outside Islam, we go into other records, other sayings, other informations about Hussain, or other writings about Hussain by other great leaders, and especially the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, is the only man who says that. In his very glorious lines, he says that Islam was not spread by the swords of its followers, but Islam till today is a living religion because of the supreme sacrifice of Imam Hussain. That is what Mahatma Gandhi says about Hussain. And he goes one step further and he says, during the heart of the freedom struggle, Mahatma Gandhi says, if you give me 74 soldiers like what Imam Hussain had, if I have the same 74 soldiers in the same spirit, in the same shape, in the same faith, I would have won Indian freedom long back. That is what Mahatma Gandhi said. And the message of Hussain is only one thing: stand by truth. That is the only message, at whatever be the cost. And finally, Even you have to shed your life, stand by truth. The truth is God. And when he found that the Caliphate who has succeeded the tradition of the Prophet, Esjit, and when he found out that he was not living according to the traditions of Islam, when that ruler, one particular point of time, according to the earlier history of Islam, he questioned the very prophethood of Muhammad. And he was not even willing to follow even the basic tenements of normal human culture. He thinks that the caliphate cannot be entrusted to such a man who didn't believe in the prophethood of Muhammad, who was not willing to follow the tenements of Islam, and who was also living a life full of evil designs and the most greed for power. So at one point of time, when his men, when the Caliphate's men, they come in thousands, nearly 30,000. And the people with Imam Hussain is only 74 people. All the 74 people, his own kith and kin, his stepbrothers, his family members. And it was very sad to know that his innocent children, all the 3 children who were massacred in the war, and he didn't yield. He never agreed to surrender himself to this illegal rule of that Khalifa, who was known for his evil deeds. And he said, it is better to die than to surrender to this avaricious, most greedy man for power, who has no concern for the goodwill of the people. And I don't propose to surrender, I will stand by it. And before that, before the war actually took place, he calls all his close followers. He knows there are 30,000 people standing there with all the arms and ammunitions, the great power behind him. And he has got only 74 people. And he didn't want to sacrifice those people because of his conviction. So he just calls them and asks them, see, I have decided not to surrender. I have decided to give my life for the faith I have. I have decided to stand by truth, but it is up to you to decide. You please leave. I don't want you sacrifice on this altar where I am prepared to sacrifice my life. But you know, the faith of those 74 people are equally important, and if not more than what Hussain had. They stood by Hussain. They said, whatever be the end, we will stand by you. So this is where we have to get our inspirations. This is where we have to get our lessons. Today, we have lot of challenges. And in public life, in government administration, in day-to-day life, we have lot of challenges. Every day, we have to answer a question. That is the basic tenement. That is the basic question Islam puts to every Muslim, not only to Muslims, but also the whole world. To do good and not to do bad. This is the direction given to Islam. So every day we have the same question before us. So whenever a government officer is there is a chance to get corrupted. There is a chance somebody comes and offers money to do a job. The same question which was placed before Hussain, the same question is placed before us now. To do good or not to do bad. So we have to answer, we have to learn the lessons from Hussain. So today in policy, in politics, and especially in our country, we stand by an idea of India. What is an idea of India? India was never a country before 1947. It was so many sultanates, it was so many small kingdoms, princely states. And all these states and kingdoms, sultanates, They were all united under one Indian constitution that says that we, the people of India, will stand by a secular democratic polity. And we stand by democracy. What is democracy? Democracy is not the rule of the majority. Democracy is a golden principle where the majority should rule and the minority should live. Whether the majority has got unlimited power to do unlimited harm to the microscopic minorities in the society, then that is not majority, that is not democracy, that is majoritarianism. So now this is time to stand by that. Come what may. Whatever be the sacrifice, our Chief Minister stands for that. Our Honorable Chief Minister in the whole of Tamil Nadu is the only Chief Minister who stands for the idea of India, for the value of democracy. He says, whatever you foist any case, you foist any false case, whatever be your power, whatever be your authority, whatever your limits, you do anything, everything, but I will stand by the principle. That is, every man who made a sacrifice for his own country, for his own doctrine, his own faith, is full of, the history is full of those people who are the only people who stand the test of time. Thousands of people have been born. Crores and crores of people lived on this planet. Crores and crores of people died. And history doesn't speak about all those people. The history speaks about one Hussain. Be it any religion. Today, being a Christian, I am interested in studying the history of Hussain, because Hussain's history has got so much of potential that it is capable of invoking even the smallest man to the value of human life. That is where we celebrate this occasion. And the sacrifice of Christ, the brutal assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the killing of Martin Luther King. These are not incidents which are confined to one society, one section of people, or one religion, particular religion. It is universal. Their lives, their message, even though they are called in different names, if you go deep into their lives, deep into their sacrifice, deep into their contribution to humankind, you will find a golden link connecting all these people's life. That golden link is a sacrifice without expecting anything. When Hussain died, he knew that he would be no more on this planet. He will not inherit the caliphate. He would not be the ruler of the country. His children will be killed. His close kith and kin would be killed. He knows all about these losses. Even then, he was willing to sacrifice his life. That is the supreme sacrifice of Hussain. That is what we celebrate. I will call it celebration. Because once you know, this is not a mourning day. This is a day which we have to be thankful to the God for giving such a glorious man on this planet, who by his life makes us to get inspired in spite of nearly 16 centuries afterwards. So even after 16 centuries, he is a living legend. He is a speaking voice. He is knocking at our door. He calls us and says that, gentlemen, ladies, stand by truth, stand by faith. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Peter Alphonse. It was a very powerful message and a powerful speech.